is to be ruled. So you can long-term scan and have the payments directly through my webpage, alexanderermenkov.com. Also, you can book a call with me on Calendly. But the interesting thing about all this project, I'm going to stop sharing, is that actually, I think I stopped sharing, is what I really like about deep diving into reality, because I see so many people just going on the surface and never willing to go deep dive in everything that is happening. So I'm finished and we can speak more freely now. If you have questions, I know these topics are very deep and I'm discovering everything myself. I'm listening a lot, but everything I'm doing is from the perspective of how can we actually rule our reality. So if some of you wants to jump in and to ask questions or give his viewpoint, and of course, I will be very interested if you actually like this topic, or it is a topic that you actually ignore. It is still okay for me. If you can unmute yourself or ask something.
I thought it was very interesting, and I was wanting to know, because I work with Pamela there. We wanted to know how this could help our mindset when growing, business, talking to prospects and things like that. Do you think there would be a good way to control, like positive mindset or prospecting, or do you think, I don't know if the two kind of work together, but that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, James. Hi, Alexander. Nice to meet you. Sorry, I joined a little late. I got involved with another call here and I just got off. So yeah, nice to see you, James.
Yeah, I mean, it will be recorded anyhow, so I'll send you also the recording.
Thank you.
But for sure, I have a pharmaceutical company in Bulgaria with 30 people, and I really am implementing a lot of these ruling reality principles directly into my company, and I see a lot of success that is happening there. For example, the first thing I was very interested about, I said, okay, how am I actually able to implement this knowledge into normal day life? So I decided, okay, instead of just being somebody that is striving to succeed and to create success for myself, I decided to surround with successful people and started to educate everyone of my company and put the intent that I want all the people in the company to be successful as they are, who they are. And I gathered all the company. I said, okay, we have tried to have goals for years that are achievable. Let's start with something that we 100%, all of us know that it is not achievable. We cannot achieve it for this year. And I want we to put goals that we 100% know that we cannot achieve, but to start just moving forward and to try to see what is going to happen. So we started 2020 in the end, maybe, with this project. So we were selling, let's say, something like 20,000 packs then per month from pharmaceutical products. And actually, we set a goal 3 times in 1 year to be able to grow the company. The first year we achieved something like 30 or 40%. But constantly we started to implement a lot of additional processes. Okay, we want to create something that is impossible. What additionally we need to move as moving parts, and so on and so on. So we created, because in reality it's very important. I realized it, for me it was a very strong comprehension that actually all the people that work for me, their experiences during the day, during the working day, are actually part of the assets of the company. So what I realized is that actually I asked all of them in weekly Zoom calls to start explaining what are their achievements, what are their challenges, and so on and so on, in order to start extracting what is happening in each person's reality. And little by little, we start gathering this momentum. We started putting processes. So almost every month, we are measuring what has happened. We continue influencing, we continue following all the processes, but every person, every week, have a conversation about what has happened during all his week, really talking about what he's experienced, what is doing good, what is not doing good, and so on and so on. And long term, we came to the conclusion that actually each of these persons is able to achieve good results. I mean, not pressuring them. I mean, we're working a lot with this, the gap and the game principle, but now more and more we are creating such a processes that actually each of them are now feeling comfortable that they're producing monthly some beautiful results, and the company is seeing them, spotting them, and appreciating them. So we are,
So you have tangible results.
yeah, the problem
Very
is that this, for first time I realized how this culture, how all these invisible assets actually are creating the long-term visible effects for the company. So the same way as the mind is working on the individual level, so it is possible to implement it long-term into our own structures. And yeah, I think it works beautifully for,
Very nice, very nice.
I'm of course testing it with my own company, but
Yeah.
I see that it is working.
Well, you know what attracted me when James told me about this and showed me the LinkedIn ad, you know, and the invitation, was removing blocks, I guess, mental blocks or emotional blocks. So I don't know if you covered that during this whole session. You probably did. But can you give me an example of what you do to help remove mental or emotional blocks that people may be carrying that stop them from doing what they need to do? Because that seems to be a trend out there that like people are tapping into that. People have blocks that just stop them from reaching their goals and reaching, you know, their dreams in life.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. For me, basically, there are a lot of things that are happening in the mindset. There are so many coaches that are speaking about this. But for me, I have created these strong fundamentals. Once we realize that all the human beings are limitless inside of them, but we are just experiencing these limitations daily, then how we are removing the blocks? First, when we realize who we are as a position, then little by little, once we understand that there is a uniqueness in each of our people. For example, when I look in the people that we are hiring, let's say we have in the moment 30 people, long term I have put a strategy for 80 people in the next 2-3 years. But the important thing is that we as company are trying to create such a structure that each of them to be able to express this uniqueness in order the company to benefit as a whole. So in this way, you are not constantly pushing these limiting beliefs and saying, okay, now see, this is limiting belief, you need to take it away. But once we create this culture and atmosphere, because anyhow, I mean, once we level that all beings, you just imagine in the moment I have 30 limitless beings that are working in a company, how it's possible we not to achieve results. It's
that's right. Very nice. Let me ask you, where are you? Are you in the United States, Alexander?
no, I'm in Bulgaria, Europe.
Bulgaria.
Also in Greece, I'm working. I've been in some mentoring and coaching, and also I'm exploring a lot this because I was a little bit mad and frustrated from the personal development industry because it's speaking so much on the surface and nobody wants to deep dive how to actually make the things really work.
Yeah,
And
it's
not so hard, but it's really, you need to go from the deep forward.
Right. This reminds me of a book that I read called, you may want to check it out. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's just a small, short little paperback read, but it's so good because I think it'll take off from where you're coming from, dealing with the internal things, right? The things, the blocks. And then you have to turn that into self-talk, because your brain will believe whatever you tell it. So if you're saying, oh, I'm not going to be successful in this, I'm not going to do a good job, you're not going to do a good job. You're absolutely right. So whatever you tell yourself is what's going to be, so your brain will do exactly what you tell it. But yeah, so I think those would go hand in hand, but so you have a program that you're offering to people globally, right?
Yes, of course.
And I think I saw the 4 stages or 4 programs or something.
Yeah, I have created it for 1 month, everyday videos, and every week interaction about each of the steps.
Okay.
In the moment, this program, which is called Ruling Reality Basics, it's for individual to understand reality. Long term, I'm very passionate about creating something about the cultural and the corporate structure. And because for all of us, all these things were like, this is just wordings and so on and so on. I never realized that actually companies also, this internal invisible part is so important for the performance of the company.
Really
And
is.
yeah, this is a very big long-term thing. I would like to invest into it in the future because you can really see the results there. And I'm now testing it a lot with my company. I'm enjoying good results. I mean, every month we have good growths and people are much more happy. Of course, some of them are leaving us because when I'm presenting them so much knowledge, one lady said, oh, now I'm 45, but I decided to follow my dreams and I want to become a doctor. What shall I
There
say?
you go. Change your whole future,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so
That's right. That means you're
everyone,
very effective because you changed her mindset,
yeah,
paradigm, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. So can I ask you, how much is your program, Alexander?
Yeah, I have placed it for $1,000 is the program for one person.
Uh-huh.
And
Is that
I make,
one-time fee?
yes.
Okay. And it should take 1 month
Yeah,
to go
1
through the
month.
program?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tested it with 2 people from the States. Also, I had already one client from Canada. I tested it now with 2 people from the States. It's a little bit overwhelming for them. They say, well, it's not so easy every day,
Yeah.
so much information to implement, because actually it is everything that the personal development is speaking into less than 1 month, but without everything on the surface, because otherwise you can go into a specific subject for months. But here I'm trying to go to the core, because once you understand the core, then everything else is much more easy to be moved.
Okay, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So once you do the month, you're saying you can take off and do study something for a few months. Is that what happens after the month? You have additional courses to take? Okay.
There is then a 6 months program, which is 12 modules. Every module is it's 2 weeks, so it can become, but I call this like more as a boot camp. It's
okay.
People are long-term willing to really deep dive, because first I want them to test and to feel it for themselves, because it is a very fundamental thing. It is not a joke.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry I have to take this call, but I'm sure you had something to say. I'll be right back if you guys stay on, but if not, it's nice to meet you, and I'll talk to James about it, okay?
Yeah, I gotta jump off too. Yeah, see you later.
Okay, thank you, and we can contact with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye. Okay, guys, so this is it for today. If somebody has more questions long-term, he can ask me. And there are so much applications about everything that we spoke today, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. So have a nice day and enjoy your realities. Bye-bye.